everybody. I'm Anita Rao from Bengaluru, Karnataka, India. By profession, I'm an international air hostess, now totally into social activities where I teach menstrual hygiene management, general cleanliness, travel etiquette, communication skills, and the importance of dressing up in rural and urban government schools, colleges, prison, and slums, and with the police, and to the BMTC drivers and conductors. The main reason for me to be in front of you guys here is to talk about menstrual hygiene management. Are we really practicing here in India? Presently, we are around 355 million women and children we are menstruating. Believe me, in that half of us, we do not know what is menstruation, why it happens, and where it happens. So today, I thought of creating an awareness on menstrual hygiene management. When half of the population, they do not know anything about menstruation, and can I expect any menstrual hygiene management practices? Believe me, it's also nil. Only 18% of our urban women we know and we are practicing menstrual hygiene management. But why it is so important? And why should we practice menstrual hygiene management? That is the reason I am here today in front of you to discuss everything about menstruation and menstrual hygiene management. Most of the girls in the villages, even in this generation and in this 21st century, they all think that menstruation is an obstacle. It takes away their freedom, and they menstruate only to get married and to reproduce. And then it hampers their mobility. Once the girl gets her periods for the first time, of course, we Indian families, we do celebrate it. But from the very next day, the treatment will be very different, and we tell the girl not to go to school and stop her education immediately, because she has to get trained on household chores and cooking, because very soon she is going to get married. She also doesn't like to go to school. The reason is she's very scared. What if she gets her periods when she is in school and there are no toilets and there are no adequate water, and there is no privacy to change pads, and lack of pads also is a big reason. What if I get periods in the school, and then what if I stain my uniform and people are going to bully me? This is the major reason I hear most of the time, that when I speak to the parents or the girls, that why they stop going to schools. So that is the reason I thought in this pandemic, I thought of educating all of you guys, or creating awareness on this most sensitive topic, less discussed topic in our country, that is menstruation and menstrual hygiene management. So let us begin with what is menstruation. Menstruation is a normal biological process which happens in all the female bodies, and it must happen. It's a central phenomena in her life. Where it happens in the uterus, and through vagina we bleed. And as I said, in earlier times there was no medicine for any girl who doesn't get her periods. But today, with medical technology, if any girl who doesn't get her periods after 15 years, please, you can advise her and take her to the doctor. There is a medicine and treatment for the same reason. So why should we menstruate? Why do we bleed every month? What's the reason? As I said, it's a natural phenomena, it's a natural biological process. It is related only to reproduction. Just to reproduce our offsprings, we menstruate. Imagine a small seed which germinates and becomes big, and then there are flowers and fruits on the tree. Similarly, a small, tiny, beautiful, little, cute girl, she grows big just to reproduce. That's the reason menstruation happens. And when it happens, maybe earlier it was 15 years, now it is between 9 to 12 years, and up to 50 years she bleeds. What's the reason? What could be the reason why girls are getting bigger from 9 to 12 years? What's the reason? That is because of the pollution and the food habits and the genes. Food habits like pizzas and the burgers and the colas and chips and so too much of salt. So there is a hormonal imbalance. The two reproductive hormones called progesterone and estrogen, there is a fluctuation in the production. That's the reason girls are attaining puberty at the age of 9 or 12. So some girl, she asked me like, how do I get to know that I'm going to get my first periods? So for every reason, our body prepares us. Like how when you get to know you are going to have a guest at home, what are you going to do? Immediately you run to the kitchen, you prepare delicious food, and immediately you go to their bedroom and you make sure that their bed is clean and safe, and their sitting sofa chair is clean and safe. And that is how our body prepares us to bear the child. Where? In the uterus. The uterus wall is made up of uterus lining, which is also in turn made up of muscles, blood vessels, and blood. Once the body gets to know that the girl is pregnant, the body is going to bear a child, it is going to make it stronger. In the uterus, a sac-like structure gets created, and once the ovaries produce the eggs, it travels to the uterus mouth. There it awaits for the sperm. Once they come in contact with each other, they develop into an embryo. So this embryo needs a place to sit and relax and grow into a beautiful baby. So the embryo sits in this sac-like structure. This is called pregnancy. And the girl is called pregnant lady. If the girl is not pregnant, what is the use of that sofa or the sac? So uterus sends unwanted material through vagina every month in the form of blood. Similarly, even our body goes through lot of changes just 2 years before periods. What happens? The shoulder part and the hip part gets bigger. That is, we develop breasts, and we do develop hair in armpits and in the vaginal area. And also you start getting pimples, dandruff, and always you're so happy, you are in a good mood all the time. You feel like you are Kajol or the movie star, and you start searching for Shah Rukh Khan. That means this is the time you fall in love. So now, after we got to know what is menstruation, where it happens, we will talk about menstrual cycle. What it is, what is that cycle now? Very simple. The duration between the first periods and the second periods, it's called menstrual cycle, and it is not same for everybody. Some may get for 20 days, some may get for 22 days, 30 days, or up to 45 days. If you don't get your periods even after 45 days, then there is something wrong. You have done something good. So go to the doctor, get it checked. She has a solution for everything. So for the first time when the girl gets her periods, it's only few spots maybe. She will not get her periods regularly every month. That means once in 3 months she gets her periods. That is, in a year, only 4 times she gets her periods. And for the first time, only few drops will be there. You don't have to worry. And from the second year, she will be having regular periods. So now let us talk about period blood and bleeding time. As I said, all of us, we bleed from the first day till the 7th day, and it is not uniform for everybody. Some may bleed for 3 days, 5 days, or 7 days. But make sure that even after 7 days you are bleeding, it's a call to visit the doctor. And even your blood should not have too much of blood clots. Once or twice, 2 or 3 months, once a while, it is okay, but not heavy clots. Make sure that it is not with heavy clots. And how much do you bleed, do you think? Maybe a bucket or maybe a mug size? No way. We bleed only 35 ml to 50 ml in a day. Maybe the first day 35 ml, the second day that is 50 milliliters, which is equal to 2 or 2.5 tablespoons. And very interesting is how is the period blood taste? So have you ever tasted? Just when you got your periods and then you felt like just curiosity, you felt like tasting it. No, right? You have never tasted. Me too, I have never tasted. But there are professional blood drinkers in the world. Of course, not in our country. The other countries, they do have. It is their job to just taste the blood. It doesn't matter to them, is it animal blood or period blood or human blood. According to them, it tastes like iron. Take a piece of iron rod, put it in a glass and put it in water, leave it for 15 days and then go back and try to drink that water. It exactly tastes similar. and it also tastes like batteries, people say that. And what's the reason why it tastes iron? It smells iron because our blood is made up of iron. Simple. And now, how should be the smell of the period blood? Believe me guys, period blood does not have any odor on its own. It is as pure as oxygenated blood which is flowing in your body from the heart. Then why the foul smell whenever I go to the toilet, when I change my pad, why it smells so bad? Somebody asked me. So as I said, period blood does not have any odor, and when it comes in contact with the pad or the cloth absorbent you are using, and when it gets mixed with air, all these have germs. Air has germs, and your period pad or the cloth pad has germs. So all of them, they get mixed and then it smells. How is the healthy period blood smells? Should smell. It should smell like a dead fish. Please remember, only when you are menstruating, your vagina or the period blood should smell like a dead fish, not during normal days. If you are not having your chums or periods, still your vagina is smelling like dead fish, that means there is a severe infection. Visit the doctor ASAP. Now we finished the taste and the smell of the blood. Now how should the healthy period blood be? And what other colors like orange or white or pink, what it indicates? Let us discuss. Guys, one thing I must say, whether our body is healthy, our reproductive system is healthy or unhealthy, is there any problem, any medical issues? Very simple way our period blood indicates. Every month, please pay attention to the color of the period blood because it says so much about our health. For example, in case if you have your period blood color, which is in this color, this is dark brown. This, for the first day, we are going to get this color because it is old blood which somehow got stuck in the uterus, or maybe it was lazy to come out from the vagina. So this is old blood remained in the uterus last month. Very normal, very common, it is very healthy color. And this is your bright red color, very fresh color, fresh blood which comes out of the vagina very fast. That day the uterus is shedding this blood very quickly. And if your period blood color is of this color, that means there is a problem. This indicates sexually transmitted diseases and many other complications with lot of abdominal pain and foul smell of the bleeding. ASAP, go to the doctor. Then what about this pink blood color? Actually, it is not your periods, it is not at all your blood. Maybe ovaries are damaged, maybe cervical cancer, ovarian cancer, or spotting, or an abortion, or the sign of menopause. We have spoken so much about all the colors. Why not white? That means white blood color. What is it? That is called white discharge. It is a natural disinfectant which our uterus and vagina has. It throws all the bacteria, fungus, you name the germs out of our uterus and vagina. And it is very, very common, very healthy. You don't have to get scared if it is colorless and odorless. Just before our periods, 2 or 3 days before our periods, we get white discharge. That means our body is telling us that be ready, you are going to get your periods. Got it? It is very, very normal. But just before periods is okay, odorless is okay, and watery is okay. But if you are getting this throughout the month, throughout the year, it is not at all okay. That says vitamin deficiency and you are not having a balanced diet. We have spoken all the colors and you name the color in the nature we have spoken. So how should the period blood be? What should be the period blood color? The healthy blood color. It should be like this color or cranberry color. This shows that your reproductive system is super healthy. You don't have to worry. Normally we girls bleed this color. In abnormal cases only we have other colors. Now we have enough information on menstrual cycle, menstruation and period blood color, etc. etc. Now we will talk about menstrual hygiene management. What is it? Why such a big deal about menstrual hygiene management? Why it is mandatory for a girl to practice menstrual hygiene? As I said, we all bleed from the first day till the 7th day. So how many times in a day you are supposed to change your pads? Every 6 to 8 hours, it's a must, whether you're bleeding, you're not bleeding, heavy bleeding, light bleeding. It doesn't matter. You must change your pads every 6 to 8 hours. And after you change your pads, you must wash your hands with soap. And what do you do with the pad? Take a used newspaper or any tissue roll or anything, wrap it thoroughly and discard it. Do not put the pad in the toilet bowl. In case if you're not using pads and if you're using cloths, remember to wash them with cold water and then sun dry it only. You cannot hide, you cannot keep this cloth pad under some other cloths and hiding it from people. No, don't do that. It has to be very, very dry and it should not be wet for the next use. And you can use the cloth pad only 3 months. That's all. After that you have to discard it and you have to use the new one. When we were talking about 355 million girls and women are menstruating in our country. Each girl, she menstruates up to 50 years and every girl needs at least 72,000 pads in her lifestyle. Each pad, plastic pad, takes 400 to 500 years to decompose. So imagine the detrimental effect it has on our environment. I plead everybody to switch over to eco-friendly, environmental friendly menstrual hygiene products. I have few examples for you. This is your menstrual hygiene cup. It is so easy, so comfortable, personal experience. I am telling you, one cup, if you invest like 500 rupees or 1000 rupees, you can use this up to 10 years. But of course, after use method should be followed regularly. And there is one more, this is called reusable pads. It is just like old school method, like where our grannies and great grannies, they used to use it. And this is also very comfortable. It's my personal experience. I have used it. All of us, we must think about the environment and then ASAP, we all must start using reusable pads. It also needs very less care. You just have to use it in cold water and sun dried. That's all. After we spoke about sustainable products, now let us talk about the stigma, the myth, the taboo and the superstition which is surrounding menstruation. Why do we have so many taboos, so many stigma, so many myths around menstruation? That is because, believe me, even our literature does not say anything about menstruation or menstrual hygiene management. Even if it says, it's very less. Our schools, colleges, teachers, mothers do not talk about menstruation publicly. That is the reason so many taboos and then so many myths around it. Who made all this? In earlier times, according to me, the senior lady of the house, she knew what is menstruation and what are the difficulties during menses. That is the reason she made a simple rule saying that you do not have to come to the kitchen to cook. If you come to the kitchen, you have a lot to work. That is the reason she told the girl to relax in one, sit and relax in one particular place. But no, what did we do? We didn't like it. We converted that simple solution to a taboo, a myth and a stigma. Now we have, even in some villages, we still have that the girl who's during menstruation, she cannot enter the kitchen, she cannot touch the pickle, she cannot cook, the elders cannot see her face. Believe me guys, it's absolutely rubbish, utter nonsense. You don't have to believe in all these things. It's a natural process. As I said, how you have common cold is colorless, and our periods, it is blood red in color. That's all. Why so much of myth is created around it? And men too, they have joined it. Do you know the reason why they support all this taboo, the myths and the stigmas? Because they did not want any fights, arguments or conflicts with the lady who decided all these things. So he kept quiet, though he didn't know anything about periods. He just agreed, and till date we all follow that. I am here requesting all the men to break the taboo, to break the myth, and encourage girls to talk about menstruation publicly. It is an entry point for gender equality. When can gender equality happen? When all the girls in the country go to school, when all the women, all the girls can talk about periods publicly. That is when I say gender equality will happen. And how much he knows about periods, how much men know about periods? Believe me, none. They do not know anything, because neither he asked nor we told him. Why it is important for him to know about periods? Yes, of course, it is important because it improves the overall health of the family, and she can bleed with dignity. And when he is understanding, when he is empathetic, he can have a very good personal relationship with his wife, sister, mother or the daughter-in-law. So it is a must for him also to know about periods. So we will come to an end now. And why should we maintain menstrual hygiene management? What happens, ma'am? Somebody asked me, there is a small village in my place, and they asked me, we do not have any time. What happens to us if we do not change pads even after 6 to 8 years? Guys, it's a serious business. You must follow menstrual hygiene management, or else, you know what happens? You may have heard about cervical cancer, which is again, and UTI, urinary tract infection, kidney damage, kidney infections, and what not, if you do not practice menstrual hygiene management. There is a deadly disease called cervical cancer. It happens through human papilloma virus. After doing the intercourse, in case if we do not wash our vaginal area thoroughly, or having multiple partners, not maintaining hygiene practices, leads to all these diseases. Very common disease is UTI, urinary tract infection. There is a solution for everything, but prevention is better than cure. So it's better from today onwards you take care of menstrual hygiene practices. Last and final, as I always do, I love children, and then I have something to say for young kids. Hi guys, thanks for listening to me for so long. I have some very special message for you. I want all the kids to dream big. I want all the kids to be very, very independent. Do your own work. And please do not waste your time in watching TV, on Facebook, Instagram, games, etc. Have a role model in life. You know, some big personality has said that even if you don't have eyes, it's okay, it seems. But if you don't have a dream, you will go nowhere. Correct? So always dream big. Have two dreams. One easy dream, the other one is difficult. Once you complete your easy dream, it gives you a lot of confidence to achieve the bigger one. And always, as I said, have role models. My role model is Mr. Kalam, Sudhamurthy, Narayan Murthy. I keep reading about them. If you do not read books, you will not gain any knowledge. You must continue reading. It's a tonic for your brain. You must love yourself. According to Infosys chairperson Mr. Narayan Murthy, he says 80% of the youth is unemployed. That is because what they study and what they want to do, where they want to work, it really doesn't match. So if you don't study what you like, If you don't do what you like, success will not be with you. If you want to be very successful, do what you love and love yourself. Hello guys, thank you very much for listening to me. I hope I have created some awareness, and then this is just not for you. This is for all the people in your family, in your neighborhood, and whoever your friends, college peers, or anybody who you encounter with. You must share this knowledge, especially the period blood color. That is the reason, just to make your life easy, I got flowers so that it gives a message clearly. Alright everybody, thank you very much for listening to me. I hope I have tried to create awareness here. And this subject, it is just not for you today, for your family, friends, peers, colleagues, your aunts, neighbors, everybody. Whoever you come in contact with them, please share this knowledge, especially on the period blood color. Just to make our life easy, I got these flowers so that it is better for easier understanding. Thanks a lot again. All the very best. Love yourself. I love you all.